Welcome to Silent Symptoms, a Black mental health podcast. I am your host, Katasso Fridge, a Florida-based therapist. This podcast focuses on mental health, stigmas, and social injustices that affect the Black community. This podcast was created to bring awareness about mental health and can be used as an educational guide, but this is not to be used as a replacement for seeking help from a therapist. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Hi, welcome to Silent Symptoms, a Black mental health podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about dysthymia, also known as high-functioning depression, but the official DSM diagnosis is Persistent Depressive Disorder, parentheses, dysthymia. So this is actually very common among young adults, 19 all the way up to senior citizens, 60 plus. 1.5% of Americans actually experience dysthymia. I know a lot of people are like, what the heck is dysthymia? High functioning depression, nothing more, nothing less than that. And about 6 million people experience high functioning depression on a regular basis. So they're able to get up and go to work, go to school, take care of their kids, and do their responsibility. So it's not as disabling as major depression. But the DSM says dysthymia is a depressed mood for most of the day, for more days than not, as indicated by either subjective account or observation by others for at least 2 years. So in adolescents and kids, it can be for a year, and this is indicated by them changing their mood or becoming more irritable. So this is classified. So if you have these 6 things, so you have to have 2 or more. So you have to have poor appetite or overeating. 2, insomnia or hypersomnia. 3, low energy or fatigue. 4, low self-esteem. 5, poor concentration or difficulty making decisions. 6, hopelessness. So this is what the DSM says. You at least have to have these 2 to be characterized as having dysthymia or high functioning depression. If you don't have any of these, you don't have high functioning depression. You may be experiencing something else. And if you do meet criteria for high functioning depression, my suggestion is always to see a professional. Don't be scared to reveal that you have high functioning depression. You're still able to do the regular day-to-day things, and by seeing someone, you're able to get through those hoops and have that conversation, and maybe that could get you out of that depressed mode. It may not go away right away, but at least you have a professional that can help you process all the things that you're going through. A lot of people don't even know that they have high functioning depression because you're able to do everything that you want to do, but then again, there are certain situations that you avoid. So a person that has high functioning depression, they are irritable or frustrated all the time. So if you see a change in your mood, all of a sudden you used to be this happy person, able to tolerate a lot of things, and now you snap on people every chance that you get, or you're easily frustrated. That's something to think about. Or you isolate yourself. You don't want to socialize with your friends as much as you used to. All you want to do is stay home and watch TV, and you don't want to have to be social with anyone around you. The third one is fatigue. You are constantly tired. You don't want to do anything else. After your work day, you're depleted. You're done. Another one is low concentration. Low concentration basically means that when you're sitting in front of the TV watching a whole show and you don't even know what happened, or as short as watching a trailer to a show, you don't know what happened. So you constantly have to rewind. And then, like, if you're assigned a task, you can't even do that task because you don't know what you're supposed to do because you're thinking about other things versus what you need to be doing. So low concentration and unhealthy habits. So if you see yourself going back to habits of overeating or undereating, drinking constantly, just all these unhealthy habits to cope with the depression. You're harboring your feelings. You're not sharing with anyone what's going on with you. So you're basically going back to new or old habits. Some people dive into gambling, thinking that'll help their feelings. Another thing is constant worry. You're constantly worried about what you're going to do next or what you've done in the past. Like literally, you're making yourself so sick thinking about what you have to do in the future or what you didn't get done. And you're losing sleep over that. That is high functioning depression, or these debilitating thoughts about the things that you did in the past or terrible things that you've done or things that people have done to you worry you so much that it keeps you up at night. So you need to watch out for those signs, because a lot of times we have these feelings inside of us and we feel like we're exempt. We're not exempt from these feelings of high functioning depression. We're able to move on with our day-to-day life without having to stay in bed because we're so debilitated by depression. I know some people have said that, high functioning depression is like constantly running on a treadmill and it never stops. Like you're in pain, but you're never paying attention to that pain because you just keep on going. And, some people worry about affordability for a therapist. There are things out there for you. So I've said it in other podcast about how to afford a therapist. Some therapists actually work on a sliding scale fee. So that means that they work on your income and they're able to accommodate you. Some people are like, well, I don't want anybody to know that I'm in therapy. Well, here you go. There are people who do teletherapy, so you could do therapy in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere in order for you to receive services. So you have to be open to getting assistance. And somebody says, oh, nobody cares about my high functioning depression because I'm able to function on a day-to-day basis. And some people won't understand. That's why it's so important for someone to go see a licensed therapist or another clinician, because at the end of the day, if we focus so much on what other people think, that's not helpful to our mental health anyway. So we have to be able to move forward and ask assistance from a therapist who'll be able to understand those feelings. Sometimes the thought of somebody else, knowing about your feelings, your thoughts, everything that's going on in your life is scary. It is pretty scary when you have to open up to somebody that you don't even know. However, when you have a professional, they're able to empathize with you, validate your feelings about all of this, because we see this on a regular basis. So what you bring forth to us will not scare us away or will not create judgment from us. So if you've been experiencing this, and some people think dysthymia is a life sentence, it is absolutely not a life sentence. It's like everything else in life. If there is a cure, there is a cure. So by seeking help from a professional, that could be part of your cure. And you also have to be able to do the work. When you do the work, means that like whatever activities that your therapist assigns for you to do the work. Whatever your therapist asks you to get in that mode of sharing and being present in the sessions, do that. Because the tools that we have, we can pass it on to you and you can help yourself get over the dysthymia. It's going to take time. It's not going to be overnight. But, you need to check on yourself. And like it says in the DSM, observation by others. So if you've observed anyone in your family or your friends going through this, maybe it's time for you to have that conversation with them about high functioning depression. They probably don't even know what's going on with them. And you just say, I heard this on Silent Symptoms podcast. So you may have high functioning depression. So I suggest you check out her podcast, and then you can find out if you have high functioning depression. Then you go see a professional I'm just kidding. But the first thing that a person needs to do is contact a professional if they don't feel like themselves or they feel like something is different with their mental health. So I hope you guys found this useful. So we hope that over here at Silent Symptoms, that whatever you're going through, always seek help from a professional. I always drive this home because no one else can help you better besides yourself and a professional. So I hope you have a good one. This is Silent Symptoms, a Black mental health podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. You can catch us on Anchor and all your favorite media streams. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Silent Symptoms Podcast. Let us know if you have any feedback or topics that you would like to hear.